among this people, that thou, Lord, art seen face to face, and that thy cloud standeth over them, and that thou goest before them by daytime in a pillar of a cloud, and in a pillar of fire by night. Now if thou shalt kill all this people as one man, then the nations which have heard of the fame of thee will speak to thee, saying. Now remember I said that there's a key word, alright, that we're looking for, alright, and that's this word here, fame. So we're going to go into the Hebrew, okay, see what that word means, alright. And it says, you know, they say Shema, but it's really Shemai. It's Shah, Ma, I, right? When you read the Hebrew up here, the Shah, then Ma, then I is Shemai, alright? Which, when you go back into the Genesis, alright, you got Ishmael, right? Which his name is Yah Shemai Allah, alright? Which means the Lord hath heard, okay? The Lord hath heard. Now, what is it talking about here? It says, one, a report, a hearing, okay? Now, let's scroll down real quick and let's read here. It says, hearing, Job 42:5, opposite the site. Psalms 18:45, we see, at the hearing of the ear they shall render obeisance as soon as they hear my mandate. It says, two, fame, rumor, report, or an evil report, okay? Now, why I bring that out? Let me scroll back. Why do I bring that out? Because, one, I want to give an example. I'm pretty sure a lot of you brothers have seen the movie Braveheart. Now, the scene, just after the scene, I believe it is, when William Wallace broke into that dude's chambers on horseback and he hit him in the head with that mace and killed him. You had the scene where basically all these people were talking about
William
how he
Wallace
killed.
killed 50 men.
I can't remember exactly what they're
50
saying.
effort
If
was
I can
one,
find a clip of it
100
on
men.
YouTube, I will, but if I'm gonna try it, I don't think I can.
Cut through them.
There are basically reports and rumors and all that were going all throughout Scotland and England, saying how he was killing all these people, how many people he killed, he did this and that. Okay. Well, it's the same thing back then, alright? Because back then you didn't have, you know, internet, radio, and all that. So what happened? Big things that went on. For instance, the nation of Israel being led out of Egypt by a pillar, by a chariot. All right. First, Moses splitting the Red Sea, and then they go through the Red Sea, and then the Red Sea comes back out down on the Egyptians, and then you had the chariot by day, which was a pillar of cloud. A cloud, and then at night a pillar of fire. People saw that, okay? They saw what was going on. They saw who it was happening to, and then of course by word of mouth, it went on throughout the earth, okay, throughout the land rather. All right. So that's how you got these other nations. The Hamites back then in the time of Moses. Moses knew we were the children of the Lord. All right, we knew we were the children of Israel. Okay, it was manifest throughout all those curses. When Moses went to Pharaoh, what did he say? He told Moses to say, "Let my people go." Okay, let my people go. Talking about the nation of Israel. Okay, so I'm gonna read this. Just read this couple verses. It says, "Because the Lord was not able to bring this people into the land which he swore unto them, therefore he has slain them in the wilderness. And now I beseech thee, let the power of my Lord be great, according as thou hast spoken, saying, the Lord is long suffering and of great mercy, forgiving the iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation." That's pretty much it on that. Okay, so the point is, word of mouth went out. Okay, word of mouth spread amongst these nations and to these other nations of the children of Israel, of the great works that the Lord did for the nation of Israel. Okay, thus through process of time, you got all these other nations, which in these days, all right, like I mentioned in Psalms 83, want to keep us from being a nation. Why? Because they know as soon as the Lord is back with the children of Israel, all right, then that's it for them. Okay, no one will be able to stand in front of us. Okay, no one will be able to stand up to us. All right, and we're going to get that later too. All right, but first let's go to Joshua 6:27. Okay, this is a quick one. It says, So the Lord was with Joshua, and his fame was noised throughout all the country. Now that's a pretty long chapter, so I just wanted to read that. Let me scroll up a little bit. This is with the harlot. Let's see. Let's start here at 23. Joshua 6 and 23. And the young men that were spies went in. Now, you know, the background behind this story is the two men Joshua sent to spy out the land, alright? The land of, was it Canaan? And they went into a harlot's house. They went to a harlot named Rahab. And basically, she took them in and hid them when, you know, news went out that their people, the Canaanites, basically found out, wait a minute, there are people in our land trying to spy out our land, okay? So she took them in and hid them. And then basically she said unto them, like, you know, basically, if you let me, basically, let me and my family and all that we have live, alright? And then they said unto her, if you don't tell anybody, then you're good with us, alright? But if you tell somebody, then we're going to kill you, okay? Just to make a long story short. It says here, and the young men that were spies went in and brought out Rahab and her father and her mother and her brethren and all that she had, and they brought out all her kindred and left them without the camp of Israel. And they burnt the city with fire and all that was therein, only the silver and the gold and the vessels and the brass and iron and of iron, and they put it into the treasury of the house of the Lord. And Joshua saved Rahab the harlot alive, and her father's household, and all that she had. And she dwelt in Israel even unto this day, because she hid the messengers which Joshua sent to spy out Jericho. And Joshua adjured them at that time, saying, Cursed be the man before the Lord that rises up and buildeth the city of Jericho. He shall lay the foundation thereof in his firstborn, and in his youngest son shall they set up the gates of it. So the Lord was with Joshua, and his fame was noised throughout all the country. Okay, so let's go there. You see, it's the same word, Shemaiah. Alright, it's the exact same word. Okay, only here it says fame, rumor. Alright, Joshua 6:27, 9 through 9, which we're about to go to Joshua the 9th chapter. Okay, because once again, after that, rumor went out to these other nations, okay? Rumor went out to these other nations how Joshua and the nation of Israel took down Jericho, alright? And rumor happened to go out to another nation of people, okay? So let's read it here. This is Joshua 9 and 1. And it came to pass that when all the kings on this side of Jordan, in the hills and in the valleys, and in all the coasts of the great sea over against Lebanon, the Hittite and the Amorite and the Canaanite and the Perizzite and the Hivite and the Jebusite heard thereof, they gathered themselves to fight with Joshua and with Israel with one accord. So they knew what the deal was. Oh shit, these people just took down Jericho. Alright? It says, and when the inhabitants of Gibeon heard what Joshua had done unto Jericho and to Ai, they did work wilily, and went and made as if they had been ambassadors, and took old sacks upon their asses, and wine bottles, and old, and rent, and bound up. Now let's look at that word wilily. Alright? Let's look at that word wilily. Alright? See here it says, I'm Ra. Aramah. It's Aramah, I believe Aramah, alright, which means shrewdness, craftiness, or prudence, meaning they were being sneaky. Alright, let's go back. These Gibeonites were being sneaky because they heard what Joshua had done in Ai and in Jericho, and they didn't want to suffer the same fate, so they cooked up a scheme, so to speak. Alright, continue here in verse 5. And old shoes clotted upon their feet, and old garments upon them, and all the bread of their provision was dry and moldy. And they went to Joshua unto the camp at Gilgal, and said unto him and to the men of Israel,